Another beautiful day out here today. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about some breath work, but I'm just going to really quickly touch on different things that you can do in the moment in order to change your consciousness so that you can, have some sort of way to have, a shift in consciousness when you need it. And what I mean by that is like if you've been used to using substances and things like that in order to help yourself to change consciousness states, you can actually start to implement these breathing techniques and also a couple of stretches, and it will kind of replace that for you. But let me show you one really quick, and I've showed you this in a couple other videos. This is just a stretch, and I do this all the time, and this literally, I've had DMT releases with this multiple times. When I say multiple, I mean like I'd say 1 out of every 10 that I do, I have a full it feels like my whole consciousness shifts in a way where like I sometimes I forget where I am, I forget what I'm doing, but it's in like a very pleasant way, like it's really comfortable. Anyways, it's a sun salutation. I normally do them in sets of 3. That seems to be the best number to do it with. There's a hawk, another spirit guide. But it calms me down a lot. It also puts me in a completely different, it like shifts my state of consciousness to where like it can sometimes just boot me out of my own body for a little bit. But that's just one. So over to the breath work though, because that sun salutation, you can do that literally anytime. And literally, I'm telling you, like after you've done it probably, I'd say 10 to 15 times correctly. I'll make a whole video on how to do that correctly, by the way. But after you've done it 10 to 15 times correctly, I'd say 1 out of every 10 times, maybe even less than that, probably 1 out of every 5, you will literally have some sort of a DMT release, and it will feel like you just took a very heavy drug for 5 to 10 seconds, and then it'll lengthen more and more the more you do it. But that's one thing. And then also, we're going to talk about breath work that you can do in the moment, right? So one of the easiest things that you can do is to just allow yourself to take a deep breath no matter what situation that you're in. I would say 3 deep breaths is enough to reset you. 1 deep breath is good enough to at least pull you away from your mind a little bit and put you into a somewhat receptive state. Because you really at that point need to be in a receptive state in order to be able to receive love and things like that. But that's just the first like very small thing. But the next thing is you can actually, I can show you a couple of different breathwork techniques also. So there's like when you breathe in through the nose, what I've noticed is that it's like breathing in prana, life force energy, like physical and mental energy. Sometimes with people, if their pineal gland is blocked up or if they have like a thing in their head will start hurting. For me, like I'll have pressure come in the head, I mean, it's hurt a couple of times, but like it goes away after like 3 or 4 seconds, honestly, because it's just like opening it up like heavily and then closing it back down a little bit. But for the most part, it doesn't hurt at all. It always feels really good. But so to release anxiety, first thing you can do is this. What you're going to do is you're going to imagine when you breathe in, you don't have to do this, but just like keep it in mind. When you're breathing in through the nose, you're breathing in calmness and also warmth and love. And then when you're breathing out through the mouth, you're expelling any negative energy and also anxiety or anything like that. So like the reason why you go like that, after you breathe in through the nose, you go like that, is because you're actively expelling all the negative energy from inside of yourself, and you're trying to it's kind of like its own, you just do you do it because it signifies you wanting to expel the energy from yourself like really quickly. So you go And like the harder you do it, the more that you can expel at one time. That's why I showed that Qigong exercise where you push the energy outward. That one is expelling energy, but just like a lot more pressurized or powerful as well. And then if you do that and you do that like 5 times and then you go straight into a sun salutation, I've literally had like almost full-on DMT trips through doing that. Like it's maybe literally I ended up on the ground and I didn't know how I'd gotten on the ground, and then I looked over at other people and I'm like, did you experience that too? And they said yes. So like it's pretty crazy how deep you can go, and it's really easy with other people as well. So it's not just me who can experience this, it's you too. Hold on a sec, sorry. Okay, so that's one thing, is the anxious thoughts and stuff like that. You can expel that through the like that. And then if you want to do something more to calm yourself down a little bit, so you're not going to put a whole lot of pressure behind it, but what you're going to do is you're just going to gently allow yourself to breathe in through the nose, and then breathe in as long as you can, comfortably, and then just breathe out really comfortably as long as you can. And to calm yourself down a little bit, what you can do is you can actually make a sigh of relief as you're kind of letting it out. If you want to do it the anxiety type thing, like you know what I mean, like, and like you can hear how it releases a lot of stuff like every time that you do that. So that's one thing as well. But these are not particularly breathwork techniques. These are more things that I've been doing just and noticed that they work in specific ways. So they are technically techniques, but they're not things that I've looked up or anything like that. It's just random kind of things of breathwork that I've been doing for myself. That one is not so noticeable, I guess, from other people. If you're still like worried about other people or whatever, you can do just fill your lungs up as much as you can with your inhale, and just give a nice little sigh as if you were just like finishing a hard day at work or something like that. But you can do it at any time. So like you can literally convince yourself that you're in the same state that you would be when you got home and you're all comfortable at your house or whatever. You can literally, like, through your breath, you can convince your mind that you're in that same state, and you can experience that state everywhere, rather than just having to experience it, for 5 minutes whenever you get home and then get stressed out again. You're not trying to do that. You're trying to stay in a state of calmness and peace all of the time, no matter what. So the next one is people talk about the breath of fire. I don't really do it too terribly much, because those are more to give yourself like DMT flashes and things like that, and I'm trying to do breath work that you can do like throughout the day. But I'm also going to make a whole video on DMT breath work as well, to release DMT in your brain. But for a lot of people, when they breathe in and then they breathe out, they're going to feel really shaky energy. And you just got to push through that for a few times. It'll become almost automatic for you after you just do it a little bit. But you have to kind of push through that shakiness in order to be able to experience the benefits of the breath work. Because the breath work really starts working after a minute or two, maybe like 2 minutes of doing it straight, rather than it taking... I mean, there's a few of these that can reset your energy really, really quickly, like within like 1 or 2 breaths. But you have to kind of like have had the experience of it resetting your energy a lot in order for it to like kind of happen really, really easily. It does take a little bit of practice, like I'd say maybe like a day's worth of practicing, and just like breathing throughout the day and getting used to the kind of effects that your breath can actually bring on with you. So if you breathe out really hard through your nose, then you can actually expel a lot of negative kind of mental patterns, and then you can really quickly breathe in love and light. And then when you breathe out through your mouth, normally it's like physical kind of things that you're trying to expel, physical / really like heavy emotions and things like that. Also, all these things are combined. Physical, mental, and emotional are all kind of the same thing. But you see what I'm saying. I'm just trying to get this to where you can kind of understand exactly what it's doing, but you're gonna really have to experiment for yourself and experience what it really does, because there's no words that I can really use to describe how this stuff works. It's just, you have to experience it. I'm telling you though, like literally as soon as I got used to as soon as I figured out what this stuff does, I couldn't stop doing it. Literally, like it's been, a couple weeks and I've been experiencing, oh man, some extreme shifts in consciousness in positive ways, the whole time, literally. And it's like even just when I think that it's gonna stop or whatever, no, it doesn't. It's just it's beautiful. Honestly, it's a beautiful thing, because it's like grace, it feels like to me. It really does. Because being sober is fun. There's parts and times where you want to feel something a little bit different, and this brings on something very different. Not just a little bit, but very different. It's something that is completely different. It's something that's it's like experiencing your childhood again or something. It's pretty interesting, like you're seeing the world as a child again. I'm just putting on my shoes really quick because I'm gonna go walk on the pavement. Just 1 second. But yeah, you just through the breath, you kind of can zone out of yourself. And also, while you're breathing a lot, you actually heal your lungs and stuff like that as well. And you actually make it to where it's easier for you to walk long distances and kind of just do random stuff, because you are basically, when you do breath work, it's almost like you're running. So it's almost got the same kind of energy as running, except it's not so tiring on the physical body. It's more tiring on the your whole body starts to vibrate heavily, and you experience these things. But when you experience that vibration, that's actually your chakras spinning up or activating, and you're just experiencing where the blockages are a lot in your body, because that kind of that heat vibration kind of kind of energy or whatever that happens is normally where the blockages lie. And then once those kind of go away or are dissolved through stretching and breath work and mental activity ceasing and a bunch of other stuff like that, you can actually oh, never mind, I forgot what I was gonna say about that. Never mind. Okay, so I don't know, I'm just getting down to a point where it's just really easy to shift into a new consciousness, and it's I didn't ever know it was this easy to be able to do this, but it's beautiful. And I hope that other people will at least give it a shot and at least start trying to take some deep breaths, and also start trying to do a little bit of yoga and stretching and things like that, just to experience. It's you don't do this stuff as an exercise. This isn't something to do for physical fitness or something like that. This is something to do to literally merge your consciousness with that of God consciousness. It's something that's much more profound and serious. It's not even serious, it's just much more profound, and it's a lot more you get a lot more from it than you would ever expect to get from it. It's very, very direct, and it takes you straight to the source. So it's really good. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.